Hello? Hello? Okay, sorry, 1 second, folks. Could be there. The live recording. Look at this. Okay, so LimeWire. Let's go back. Are we recording? Do you hear me? Do you see me? Got my glasses on, no contacts in today. But this is because I'm trying to be the smart guy. So it looks like we're recording. I'm hoping it picked up some of the great information that I put down. Giants, not going to cover here. Cowboys, if we didn't hear it, can't tell if it recorded or not. Will not cover that 4.5. It's going to be a CeeDee Lamb type of day. CeeDee Lamb on the prop side is going to be over 6.5 receptions. He's going to be the main guy. He's going to get rid of that stigma where he was the cause of that loss on the Thursday nighter to open it up against the Eagles. And this game is going to go over 44.5. This is where the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott in this offense like to pick on the games that they can win. And this will be a game that they're comfortable and continue to light it up and get the ball to George Pickens, get the ball to CeeDee Lamb and other players on that roster to get them going. But they will put the foot on the throat of the G-men, who I don't know will move the ball. That's the risk of this over-under, but they will move the ball enough. Moving on to San Francisco and New Orleans. Alert, alert, alert. Brock Purdy, starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, is out. He might be out multiple weeks, and that is not good. So the 49ers will be shorthanded. So keep in mind when you look at handicapping this game, that is a major factor for the 49ers. And Mac Jones, former Patriot first overall pick, former backup in Jacksonville last year, will take the ball under center for Shanahan and the 49ers. They are now a 3-point favorite. This is a scary game. I mean, if there's a chance that New Orleans is going to win, this would be it, right? If they're going to take advantage of Mac Jones and other injuries that the 49ers have in their offense, now's the time, right? Now's the time. Spencer Rattler looked pretty good against the Cardinals last week. They were one shot into the end zone of tying or sending that game to overtime or potentially going for 2 for the victory. They're playing at home. Alvin Kamara still has some juice left, so watch out for that. I didn't take any props for this one. So I got the Saints covering the 3, if not outright winning in this game. And then I have the game going over 40.5. I think it's too low. But I didn't get picks from both Sydney and Jake are against me. They're taking the 49ers. Maybe they didn't read the injury report. I don't know what's research and what data they're using to make their decisions, but I think it's the wrong one. I think the Saints have the upset and the few games in the 17-game schedule they're going to go through that they're going to win. And tomorrow's that time. Watch out Survivor Pool as well. This is if you may want to hold off on the 49ers. Again, throw out no Brock Purdy, no George Kittle, and others are out. Miami, house on fire. Train wreck, off the rails. The Miami Dolphins got absolutely blown out by the Danny Dimes. I was going to say the New York Giants, but no, the Indianapolis Colts. Colts allowed, 7 straight scoring possessions by the Colts last week. Absolutely disgusting. Multiple turnovers by Tua. You got, I don't know if you heard this week, one of the reporters in the locker room was talking about the last time. It's been over a year since Tyreek Hill had a 30-yard longest reception or a 30-yard game or whatever it was. So not good. Expect that the Dolphins are going to start moving pieces before the NFL trade deadline, which escapes me at the moment. And the number one piece that they'll probably move, and they're probably smart to move in a different direction, is get rid of Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is at a point in his career where I think we all want to see him play. He's an exciting player. But he needs to be on not just a playoff contender, which you could argue that the Dolphins are not. And the worst case scenario, they scrape into a wild card. He needs to be, maybe a new team every year, like a hired assassin out there. And he needs to be on a team that's contending for a Super Bowl. So his services should be, for the next, how many years he has left of effectiveness, maybe 2 or 3 years to play at the level that we know Tyreek Hill plays at. That he should probably be looking at. He's the hired assassin, maybe 2 or 3 different teams, depending on whose aims are the Super Bowl. Not just making a playoff bid, but who's going to make a playoff run. But tomorrow, what I'll say to this is that the Patriots looked a little flat against the Raiders. They're coming into the heat of Florida. The best of the best early on in the season when that weather, that sun, like if you've seen the sideline of the visiting team in Hard Rock Stadium, they're pelted, just steaming there. They're like French fries under the light. And that affects teams. I think it's going to affect the Patriots. And I think if we were flipping and playing in Foxborough, I would take the Patriots here, but I'm going to take the Dolphins. Dolphins cover 2.5. They get one of their few wins that's going to take place this year, minus 105. This game's going to go over 43.5. I think the Dolphins might, get into the 30s where the Patriots put up a couple touchdowns, insignificant, no threat to win this game. And then I think Tyreek Hill has a game, one of the few games where he shines, 64.5 yards. Tua's going to hit him. There's tension there, guys. There's tension between Tua and Tyreek. No question. Mike McDaniels is in the hot seat. He's probably checking listings for flights out of there and homes elsewhere. His time is up. But I think that tomorrow's a Tyreek Hill kind of day where we kind of see, wow, he still has it. Moving on, we got the Cincinnati Bengals, who almost screwed me out of my survivor pool pick last week. 17-16 victory over the Cleveland Browns. Disgusting performance. Shouldn't have won, but I'll take it. I don't care how I get paid. I don't care how I stay in the survivor pool. Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars, coming off a win to the lonely Carolina Panthers. Cincinnati is a 3.5-point favorite. Minus 110. I'm going to take the Bengals to cover. I got to believe their offense comes back to life. Over 49.5. It's a bit of a stretch. Maybe this, neither team, especially Cincinnati, has not shown that they have a defense that is truly, they can be dependent on to stop anything. They can't even stop a cold. So 49.5. I'll take my chances there. And I have Cincinnati. Sydney has Cincinnati. Jacksonville. Jay, maybe it's a combination of Jake and Jacksonville, but he likes the Jags to cover. Stepping back, just the game, New England, Miami. Both Jake and Sydney are on Miami as well, so it's a unanimous decision to take the Dolphins there. I also like Jamar Chase to have a big game. He was kind of insignificant in week 1 against the Browns, over 84.5 yards receiving. I think he lights it up. He has to be shown as one of the best receivers in football, and it's not acceptable, probably to him and Joey B, that his stats are not 100-plus on a weekly basis. Going on to the next game, Seattle visiting Pittsburgh. So, who saw the shootout between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks last week? I sure didn't. I didn't think that Jamar Fields would be as solid as he was. And let's give him credit, right? He was fantastic. He was great. And Justin Fields got the job done. And let's call the NFL what it is. It's a no fucking around league, right? And if you ever see me support those guys that are taking action, whether it be in training camp or other times of the year where their contract and guaranteed money and other things that they're fighting for, and you hear the excuse of, it's a game. People should play for free. It's a ruthless business, the NFL. The name slips me, but there was a big fumble on a punt return or kickoff return that caused the flip in the game last week and the Steelers to take over and win that ball game. And that guy was cut. Done. Bye. Gone. See ya. Right? It's a no fucking around league. It might be called the National Football League, but it's the no fucking around league. And there is no compassion. There's only compassion for those that are deemed superstars. And anytime those superstars also start declining, so does their value. And see ya, it gets that ugly, people. I'm telling you, it gets that ugly in the NFL. You better get your guaranteed money before either an injury catches up or something in your performance slips and the organization just decides to move in a different direction. So, in this matchup, the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers coming off 4 touchdown passes. They're 3-point favorites over the Seahawks. The Seahawks are very bland to me. Didn't show me anything against the 49ers last week at home. What makes us think that the Seahawks are going to come in here with Sam Darnold, Are we ready to say fraud for Sam Darnold? I hope that's wrong, right? You know, that the idea is that Seattle wanted him in their program for the offense they want to run. Njigba, receiver, was the only target, the only guy, 100 plus yards. I think he got all but 2 receptions or maybe whatever it was. Not good enough. Steelers win this comfortably, 4 or more over the Seahawks. I like it, and it's unanimous. Jake and Sydney like it as well. And I do think it's going to go over 40.5. Maybe we get another blip on the old Aaron Rodgers Green Bay days. A few touchdown passes here. DK Metcalf, I got him over 67.5 yards receiving. I think they're gonna use him. He's there for a reason. He's gonna be the focal point for Aaron Rodgers, and I think Aaron's gonna feed him. Allow him to be to maximize the skill set, the size, the speed, and the difference-making skill that DK Metcalf has. So I like that over for sure. Heading into the 4 o'clock game, we have Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos heading into Indianapolis. Both teams 1-0. The Denver Broncos kind of skate by the Tennessee Titans while the Colts smashed the Dolphins. And right now, the road team is the favorite. Denver's a 2.5-point favorite, minus 102, and the Colts and Danny Dimes. I'll tell you what, I'm going with Danny Dimes. Home game, Bo Nix still, I think he's the guy. He's definitely confident that he is going to be a successful quarterback in the NFL, but had a little bit of a shaky game last week, and I think that kind of continues over here into Indy. Indy's a solid team, don't get me wrong. I like this game to go over 43.5 points. I like the Colts to cover. Jake and Sydney agree. Again, another unanimous decision. Bo Nix, I do think he's going to be on the run a little bit here. 19.5 yards rushing. That's the only prop I have at minus 114. Bo Nix's rushing yards. And then we have Arizona hosting the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers look like they took a step back in Jacksonville last week. Bryce Young did not look good. This is not a good start. They didn't come off the positivity that was there when they ended the season last year. So Arizona, I think, shellacks Carolina. Everybody agrees. Jake and Sydney are on the same side. It's like a few games now that we've all had a unanimous, all thumbs up, 3 ways. I like this game to go under 44.5. I do see Arizona comfortably winning, but I don't see Carolina putting much of a fight, to be honest. I like Kyler Murray pass plus rush over 247.5. He is just as like to pull off a 40-yard run as he is a 40-yard pass. Okay? Kyler Murray will have control. He'll have the ball often, and he will put up numbers tomorrow. Big game of the day, repeat matchup of the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl didn't end well for the Kansas City Chiefs. Will it change coming into this game against the Philadelphia Eagles at home? No Xavier Worthy. No Rashid Rice, who's suspended. Who is Mahomes going to throw to? Is this a Travis Kelce kind of game? Is this a grinding kind of game? I think you might get a grinding kind of game. We have the Eagles are a 1.5 favorite. I get it. Super Bowl champions. They're the best. Well, they look like the best. I'm not going to say they look like it this year. Their offense with Jalen Hurts looked great. 1 reception, 1 target to A.J. Brown. Defense with Jalen Carter in the spitting incident did not look great. Dallas moved the ball. But who does Mahomes have? What weapons does he have out there? Right? You know, I feel there's a little bit of weakness on that side of the ball right now. And who would ever say that? But underdog at home, Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Patty. Plus 1.5. Both teams have had a lengthy off time because of the Thursday opener and the game in Brazil. I like the Chiefs to cover here in a game that I think is going to go under the 46.5. Sydney thinks the same way I do, but Jake, is caught up in the Super Bowl myth of the Philadelphia Eagles. But I think Mahomes gets it done. He has another moment, and I do like his pass and rush over 262.5. I do think his legs are going to be a major part of this game, running for first downs. So maybe 60 of those yards are going to be rushing. I like it. Take the Chiefs. Last 3 games, last one, the Sunday nighter, the Atlanta Falcons, who to miss field goal, couldn't tie it, lose 23-20 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are on the road to take on J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 3.5-point favorites, minus 105. We've seen the Vikings come to life late in the third, in the fourth quarter against the Bears. We've seen the Bears kind of deflate and go away. Not shocking. Is that a true? Is the late third and fourth quarter the true J.J. McCarthy we're going to see on Sunday night? Or is it going to be the first 2.5 quarters? Good question. I got to believe there's somewhere closer to the third and fourth. I don't think he's going to be lights out. I think there's going to be still opportunities for him to be able to find a Justin Jefferson, who was effective but did not put up the totals that we normally see from Justin Jefferson when he has a Kirk Cousins back there, as an example. Penix. He's got a rifle of an arm, man. Michael Penix, lefty quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. He's an explosive player. They got a lot of weapons on that side of the ball for Atlanta. Bijan, for sure. I think they come in. I think they cover against the Vikings. I think the Vikings are not sold to me yet as being able to put up drive after drive. Well, I think Penix is getting his feet wet. And when he starts to learn not throwing everything 100 miles an hour, because he's got a rifle, I think he'll be successful. I do think they cover. Atlanta's defense looked pretty good. Minnesota's defense really looked good late in that ball game. So I think they cover. Jake agrees with me, which makes him smart. His analysis tells him that the Falcons may cover, maybe outright win. Sydney believes in the Vikings and J.J. McCarthy. I did see a Michigan hat on her. She's supporting her Wolverines. For over 44.5, I think it's Sunday night. We'll get a bit of a shootout here a little bit. I think the points are going to go up. Bijan, receiving and rushing, over 96.5. I think he's going to be the focal point of the offense. Not surprisingly. That's not a breaking news here on the podcast. But what's going to happen is that I don't think with that Minnesota offense, I think they got to put him out in screens in the flats along with the rushing. So that's where the 96.5 comes from. 2 Monday Nighters. I don't know. Who's going to stay up for the 10 o'clock one on the East Coast? I don't know. I'm sure a lot of us will. But I like the Tampa Bay into Houston. Houston is a 2.5-point favorite. I do think these two teams are mid-row, second-tier, echelon teams. I'll give the advantage to Houston being at home to cover that 2.5, under 42.5 points. And Igbuka, the first wide receiver for Tampa Bay, who had a touchdown last week in the game against Atlanta. 1 or 2 touchdowns, I can't remember. But I see him over 53.5 yards receiving. He is going to be more of a focal point of the Bucs offense, but it's going to be in a losing cause. Jake is on my side. Sydney has decided to go with the red and white, and he's Baker Mayfield fan, home of Tampa Bay. And then finally, Chargers and Vegas Raiders in the late one, 10 o'clock, very late. I like this. I like the Chargers to cover. I mean, the Vegas Raiders are, I think, a solid team with Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, and Brock Bowers is not going to play. I think that's a big loss for them, or at least it doesn't look like he's going to play. That's the latest. Chargers cover the 3, under 46.5. This is going to be probably a sloppy game. I got to think that Harbaugh is going to go back to the ground. His reputation is to run the ball. Geno Smith, my prop here, minus 115 to throw at least 1 pick. He's a wild card, man. Geno Smith is as good as Greg Cosell, if you want to listen to the Ross Tucker podcast, talks about Geno Smith being a professional quarterback, which is true, but he has that tendency not to let a play go. He threw a pick last week. He's going to be under more duress here and probably chasing the game, and he's going to throw at least 1 pick that he should not throw versus throwing away or just eating the ball. So watch out. That is it. That's the card. By the way, Sydney likes the Chargers on that one as well, but Jake is going with the Raiders. Something about that black and silver, I guess, for Jake. And that is it. Pleasure was all yours for another week of Week 2 NFL action. Hopefully your Survivor Pool picks keep you alive this week. And then also hope you get your payouts. Hope your props are fantastic. And that's it for the Overrated Experience. Another week. Talk to you next week. Remember, follow us at Overrated Experience on X at Overrated EXPER2. That's Overrated EXPER2. Catch you later. Bye-bye.